Okay, it's been a whole while since I've been in a whole versus battle. There's another one coming up, and it really isn't the best one, but the last versus battle of season 2 will be Ralph versus Eric, and there's gonna be one right after that, but after that, it's pretty much a wrap for season 2. We only have a couple more videos for season 2. They're like no more than, I think, 2 more profile videos for season 2, and that's about that. And I'll put it like this. This is something that I heavily slept on, that I was heavily away for. I wanted to squeeze this into season 1, but I just couldn't. And the real reason why I want to do this is these are literally just 2 characters that literally were a heavy matchup. But excuse me if I'm not too enthusiastic while trying to make this video, because junior high happened a whole long time ago. One person going through a whole bunch of people who praise junior high when we need to evolve from junior high. We need to make better jokes and Justin. But without further ado, this is Josh versus Sid. Now, who is Josh? Josh is literally a Filipino guy who literally taught me that I didn't know how to dance correctly at the beginning of the year, and he would argue like, Eris, stop, that's not how you pop it. Literally, he would pop right there and there and show me how it's done every single time. And Sid is the tallest Indian when I was in 8th grade who was a part of literally Ben's little posse that he made, and literally Ben literally ran the whole fucking school. And literally, so what happened was Sid got popular for fighting this other Indian kid named Syed. It was Syed versus fucking Sid, and literally, so literally, Ben's were like, oh, but this Syed literally, he swung one time and left his whole side open, and then Sid rocked him, and literally, so Sid got popular and famous off of that one little fight he had with somebody who was obviously shorter than him. And continuing the videos, yes, that's the guy who Elliot told me I should fight, because I was up and coming at the time. So, I'm gonna start off with Josh. And Josh was really not even funny, but he was very knowledgeable about what he was talking about. And he was really out there where it came to, always telling me what to do, what not to do. He would always meet me halfway in situations, but he would always take the popular kid side. And so Josh started that whole stupid shit with Justin, like literally, when they had me in a circle, and he's all like, pussycat. And I'm like, wait, that's not funny. The whole running gag about being mature, and then Justin pops out of nowhere. How about a dick cat? I couldn't pop the lock, I couldn't do anything, and Josh literally made his chest look like it was a whole fucking circle and shit. Literally, Josh is literally so fucking crazy well with the dance. He showed me that what I was doing was literally nothing, and that I wasn't doing anything with skill nor composure. And he also told me how like socialize and fit in. Literally, he would always fucking correct me, literally, at these stupidest fucking times. We were in PE, and literally, nobody was capping back, and I tried to make a joke, and I'm all like, hey, I'm the bank, where's my money? And literally, by saying hello fast, he's like, hold up, Bears, you don't really want to rush your jokes, you say it like this. And it was an even worse time, where literally, we were literally in the library, and we were doing a read, and so Josh is literally like this. He's like, you know what? You know why you don't get girls? It's because you don't really care about yourself. Stuff like that. He's like, are you wearing anything like cologne or anything? I'm like, no, because I'm getting mad because I'm constantly getting clowned on. And I didn't know that I was the biggest back in school because nothing was concrete because everybody was dominating territory. And so he's all like, well, you're a fucking gut because you should wear cologne because the first thing a girl notices is your sense of smell. And so literally, that is a scientific fact, but he said it with such a drastic tone and such a fucking down tone that literally it's like he sounded so depressed when he said that shit. So literally what happened was, I think somebody got rejected because of the way that they were treating me, and they act like they were getting the girls, but they're really just picking on this special ed kid, and they thought that they were the fucking school jocks, and really they were just being stupid. He would always criticize me here and there, like literally. This was all the way in 8th grade. Yes, that was the golden year, and I'm sorry if I'm not too enthusiastic. This is heavily dragged out, and I did not want to make this video today. But I'll give you a sample of why it was fucking crazy, and why literally I cried so hard. So the same fucking room where I spat in front of Allie when I was doing all these crazy ass fucking punchlines like Mulan and shit that weren't fucking worth it because nobody gave me validation. Okay, this is hella fucking funny. I was known for fucking remixes when I was in junior high. It's like, literally, why the fuck do you always pick the remix? Why the fuck don't you like the original? They kept on clocking on me. And I kept on imitating fucking rappers and shit like that. So Lily, when you were junior high, you know, you were obsessed with hip hop, you were obsessed with looking good in front of people. So I chose a fucking song, that nobody fucking knew. So I spat this shit from Pitbull. I'm like, I hope you get the picture. I flip it like Twister. Give me the juice, give me the curls, and give me the liquor. And he's like, what? And he's like, what was that, man? Literally pretending that shit wasn't hard and shit. Literally, oh, he got hella mad, because where the fuck did you find those rhymes? Just the superiority, popularity complex I had in the bag, and he was still in denial. Motherfucking Josh was this shit. That shit was so fucking funny. Every fucking time he criticized me, it felt like, because I always came back. It was so fucking funny. Like, that singing to myself habit literally got out of hand. So one time, like, when Flo Rida came out with In the Air and shit, literally, they kept on criticizing me. He's like, you know why people don't like your airs? You want to be a weird situation? Stop singing out of nowhere. And so I start beatboxing. And I'm like, He's like, you see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, oh really? What song am I singing? He's like, Air. But yeah, me and Josh literally had a really off and on relationship. That shit was hella fucking funny. He was literally catching my shit at the wrong time. It's like, oh Eric, can you do this move? Can you do that move? I don't think you're such a good dancer then. So on the Sid was the highest member of Ben's posse because he literally was the tallest, and so Elliot recommended me to fight him after seeing how I squared up with Max Chance. It was crazy as fuck. Because Sid kept on literally pressing, like trying to fit in and shit. So he talked to the other guy named Matt, the best friend of Max Chance. And so like they were talking about like how is Sid going to fight me? And he's like, yo, like you gotta watch out. So he's like, does Eris know how to fight? He's like, oh, well, not really. He just goes crazy. Like he'll swing randomly, but he's hella fast. And so literally, so he's all like, so he doesn't know how to fight. He's like, well, I'll put it like this. Like, you'll win, but you'll end up injured. And that shit was hella fucking funny. So it came down to the fact that during physical education that Sid literally was flexing. We were doing literally Batman Day, and literally we were trying to post up the stakes and shit. And literally, I was struggling trying to carry that big ass pole with two hands. It's like, you have trouble lifting that? I can lift that with one hand. Literally showing off and shit. And then we ended up doing our project together, and literally, so we started talking about smoking, we started talking about this and that, and then we go on to a really deep conversation. Literally, I'm trying to convince, it's like a role play game where we're trying to convince each other not to smoke. He's like, do you want to smoke? I'm like, no. I'm like, because the same thing happened to my dad. I'm like, oh, at least your dad died happily. I'm like, no. He's like, no, I don't like that. It's some serious shit. And literally, it was fucking crazy. So literally, we got into a crazy ass, conversation about, we got lost in the dreams. We fucking stole ourselves over in 8th grade talking about smoking and shit. And so literally, so me and Sid actually talked about anime. It was surprising because he was Indian and he was more of a nerd than I thought. He actually watched anime. And he asked me, do you like Bleach? So I'm like, oh my god, I actually love Bleach. And literally, it was crazy as fuck. Like, we actually got to a full conversation of anime during the library. Like, there was a short time in PE where we took away from physical education. We had a little bit of time to get to know each other. And so we talked a whole lot about animes. He's like, yeah, I don't have time to watch all that anime. I like dubs. I'm like, dubs are fucking shit, but you should really try some. And it was crazy as fuck because all the times that Sid was in denial trying to give me credit, there was this one time, literally, where we were all dressed up and shit. And so literally, during PE, because, fucking it was the end of the year, we didn't have to do shit like that. We just had to check in with the teachers and shit. And so I was known for having the MP3 player back when smartphones didn't exist, back when we were all just fucking intellectuals, we didn't have the internet to fall back on. It was so fucking great. Literally, I had the MP3 player where everybody else had iPod, and I knew how to customize my MP3 so much fucking better. Like, you can do a whole lot more with MP3. And so literally, I was known for having great music on my iPod, but I was also known for this legendary factor. So it came down to PE day. So literally, it came down to this guy. His name was Robert Wilson. And literally, motherfucking, so what happened was this. He's like, hey, let me see that shit. You got porn on there, don't you? So we're in a line of Lily, so I'm sure Lily said, porn on my MP3. Literally, I downloaded the fucking videos and put my iPod back when I was heavy on Timothy Della Ghetto, back when I was heavy on like literally everything back then, back when everything was accessible on the internet. Literally, I decided to put porn on my iPod, and it was the funniest fucking shit, and that literally was crazy as fuck. And I started talking to fucking Sid, and he's all like, goddamn. Literally, he literally started watching it, and it was some really good porn, and literally, and he's all like, hey, bro, can you hook that up on my iPod? Literally, whispering and shit, trying to keep his reputation intact, and literally, so Sid was literally trying to tell me, he's like, hey, I need you to help me, I need you to get me another one, I need you to, like, give me another video, give me that blonde girl with the big tits. And that is why I was the MVP of 8th grade. No matter how much they're in the now, I was 100% intellectual, and that was the funniest fucking shit. So it came down to it. So the victory, even though I had a lot more in common with Sid, even though we got to talk about anime, the victory goes to Josh, and I'm gonna tell you why. So the victory goes to Josh for a very good fucking reason, because what he did was, even though he made all those fucking jokes, even though he literally tried to diss me behind the scenes, he confessed to me through street code. There was this girl who asked me what my birthday was doing PE, and I didn't know what was going on. So what happened is, she was not the same, you know, family as Josh, but at the same time, what happened was this: back when I was walking towards my old elementary school, Josh came through where a big ass truck after school, and he literally sat right next to the girl that I did think that got me in school, but actually got me in school. And so literally what happened was this, is literally he drove me to the side, basically us, the almighty gang, and somebody driving me to the side. He literally showed up with a big ass fucking truck, and he showed me what they're truly doing, and he literally confessed to me through a pictures worth 1,000 words, went like this. So Josh came in with Lily, the girl that I thought was hot, but I was too scared to make a move on Lily. She was passenger seat, and what happened was this: so Josh literally told me through that fucking picture that we're not really what we say we are. What we do is that we make jokes and we pretend that we don't harass women on the side, and that's literally what Josh did. Josh confessed to me what was really going on within that picture the whole time. That's why he kept on fucking with me, and that's why Sid stayed in denial. So that is literally the versus battle. So this is Josh versus Sid, and the victory goes to Josh.